Hello guys, greetings to everyone. It's Gando Graphics again, and in this video I'll be showing you how to design a burger flyer. So straight away let's move into our pixellab application, and the first thing we are going to do is to delete this text. So now we'll be importing the image we'll be using for the background. I'm going to make available the images under the resources. You just check the description. So once we bring it in, we'll need to come to relative size and we set it to 100, both the height and the width, so it covers the entire canvas. So we are going to close this, and next we'll be bringing in another image. So we also go to relative size, we set it to 100%. So the first image, you can search for a yellow and orange background and you're going to get it, but I'm going to make available this under the resources. So we are going to set this to 7%, the opacity of the second image to 7%, and we also close it. So the next thing we're doing here is to bring in the logo. It's a logo, and we also close this layer, and next we'll be bringing in this, add a shape. So we are going to increase the size of this, increase the size. So let's move now to rotate, and we are going to rotate it to, okay, -8 is okay. Let's leave it at -8 and bring it down a little. So next we are going to close to this layer to avoid it from moving. So the next thing we'll be doing here is we'll be bringing in the image of the burger, and we'll just increase the size and place it here. So we'll move to relative position and we make sure that it's at the center, and we also close this layer. So now we'll be adding the text. We'll be adding the text which is tasty. Which is tasty. We'll be using the font called the Bison, BI. So we're using Bison bold for this tasty. So set the size to 100, so 118. We make sure that we move to rotate and we rotate it to, okay, let's just say -4 is okay, and we centralize it. Let's just move it to the top a little. Let's just place it here. Okay, so what we'll be doing now is we are going to make another copy of this and we'll change the text to burger. Change the text to burger. So it's the same size. We rotated it again to -4, the same angle. So we are just going to make sure that we centralize this and we are good to go. So the next thing we'll be bringing in here, let's say images for leaf images. Okay, so we'll be placing this one here. We'll place this here. We'll make another copy, and let's move to eraser tool and erase portion of it. Let's erase this part and place the other one here. Like I said, all this will be made available under the description. You check under the resources, you're going to see them there. So we'll just rotate and place it here, and let's reduce the opacity a little. Okay, so we are going to also close these layers to avoid them from moving. So let's make another copy of these leaves again and place it here. So we're also going to wipe off this. Let's wipe off this portion. Okay, so we'll just rotate and let's place it here too. So we are going to close this layer too. I'll be bringing in images of a bokeh which had blurred it using the blur effect. So there's a video on this under, just check my previous videos on how to blur images. So there's a video available on this, how to blur images, but I'm going to make available this blurred image of the bokeh. I'm going to make available this blurred image. So let's just move this leaf. Let's move this leaf to the top. Okay. And we place the bokeh here. So we'll copy this bokeh. We just rotate it. And let's try to rotate it again and we'll place it here. Okay. So once that is done, we will need to also close this layer. So what we'll be doing now is we'll be adding an effect, which is a shadow effect under this bokeh to make it look realistic. So we'll be clicking on our draw tool. We increase the pencil size. We increase the blur radius, and we just tap anywhere on the screen. So this is the shadow effect. So we are just going to adjust it to fit well on the bokeh. Okay, so we are going to move it down over the bokeh. Like I said, if you want to move, you need to long press on the 9 dots. So let's reduce the opacity. I think the opacity of 48 is okay. So we are going to close these two. So the next thing we'll be adding here is a shape. We'll be adding a circle. We're going to reduce the size of the circle and we'll move to color. So we come to gradient color. So this is the color I had here, I used, but I'm just going to show you how it's done. So once you come to color, let's just select any random. So once we come to color, we are going to click on the plus icon. So for this first one, we are going to click on this pencil, and the color code we'll be using here is 770602. We click on this blue check mark, we click on OK, and we click on OK. So we move now here, we click here, we click on the pencil, and we delete this color code, and what we'll be using here is the ED82C2C. So we click again, we click OK, OK. So that which we'll be using is this. So let's just click here. Okay, so this is the effect. So let's just arrange it. Or let's just move it. Okay, so it is okay now. I'm just going to reduce. Let's reduce the size again. We reduce the size and we move it a little. So now we'll be adding again another, we'll be adding now our text, which is contact us. So the text here, we have contact us on. So the font we'll be using here is called the Stretch Pro. So we have Stretch Pro here. So once we click on the Stretch Pro, the same color which we use, which is the gradient color, is that which we'll be using here. So we are just going to reduce the size here to, we set the size to 19 and we place it here. So it's still the same font, so we'll just copy and we change. We are adding the contact here. $89.05 $67.3. Okay, so we are going to change the color of this text to black. Change it to black and we place it here. So the size of this will be 20. So what we'll do now, we'll copy the text for contact, or else we'll just change the word to location and we place it here. So that for the contact, we are going to copy again and we write the name of the location, which is okay. So we are also going to place it here. So let's just increase the size of this. Let's enable the grid lines to see it is on the same line. Okay, so let's just bring this down. Let's also bring this. So okay, so once that is done, we'll be adding another text again, which is 10%, the discount, which is 10%. So the font we'll be using here too is the Bison. We have the Bison bold, this. So I'm just going to move the text. So let's position it well. So we're reducing the size of this, and also let's reduce the size of this circle shape. Okay, so let's position it too well. And the 10%, we also make sure that we position it too well. We position it too well. So there's an effect which I'll be adding here. Let's import, which is this. We increase the size. We have tasty burger. So let me just show you how this was being achieved. You just need to write your text. We have tasty burger. Now you set the color which we used was this. Okay, so let's change it to capital letters. So once it's changed to capital letters, you just need to reduce the size and you come to curve. So the one at the top, you need to curve it, set it to 100%, and you just place it there. So since it's too big, we'll just need to undo. All you need to do is to undo, and you reduce the size again, because once you curve, you use the curve tool, you cannot change the size. So you place it here and you just make a copy. You just make a copy of this same text and you go back to curve, and you curve it now to negative. You bend it to negative 100% and you place it over. So that is how it was done. It was being achieved on pixellab. So we are just going to undo all this. So you see how the design looks like. So this is how it was being achieved on pixellab. Like I said, please, you can check the resources. All these images which I use, including the leaf and everything, will be made available under the description. Please guys, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that in case a new video comes up, you'll be notified.